Hello friends. Have you ever noticed how some people flirt with bold confidence, while others charm with quiet mystery? Well, astrology says your zodiac sign might be the secret behind your unique flirting style. So, let's break it down and discover exactly how each sign turns on their natural charm. Aries. When an Aries flirts, it's like fireworks from the first moment. They're bold, direct, and love the chase. They'll compliment you right away, tease you a little, and make it crystal clear they're interested. With Aries, you never have to wonder where you stand. When an Aries flirts, it feels like you've just been swept into the middle of a movie scene where the action starts instantly. There's no hesitation, no cautious testing of the waters. They're bold enough to make their attraction obvious from the first moment. An Aries doesn't flirt quietly, they arrive with a presence that demands attention. The moment they notice you, they lock on, and suddenly it feels like the rest of the room disappears. You can see it in their eyes, hear it in the quick rhythm of their voice, and feel it in the way they step a little closer, as if every second wasted is a chance lost. Unlike many signs that prefer mystery or subtle hints, Aries thrives on being direct. They don't just tell you they like your smile, they'll say it in a way that makes you believe your smile is the best thing they've seen all day. Their compliments have this spark of raw enthusiasm, as if they're genuinely excited to have discovered you. But Aries doesn't stop there. They'll tease you playfully, throw in little jokes, and challenge you in ways that keep the energy high. To them, flirting is a game, but not one with rules or caution. It's about passion, spontaneity, and proving that life with them will never feel dull. Picture this. You're at a party, and Aries spots you from across the room. Instead of waiting for a convenient moment, they cut right through the crowd, start talking as if they've known you forever, and within minutes, you're laughing, sparring with them in witty comebacks, and realizing they've pulled you into their fast-moving orbit. That's the magic of Aries. They make you feel like you've been chosen, like their fiery attention is a spotlight that lights you up in ways you didn't expect. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of energy, desire, and action, and this influence shows in every move they make. They crave the thrill of pursuit, so they'll often turn flirting into a chase, pushing, pulling, daring you to keep up with their intensity. And while they're passionate, they're also refreshingly honest. With Aries, there are no hidden messages or cryptic signals. If they like you, you'll know it immediately. If they don't, they'll simply move on, because for them, life is too short for indecision. What makes Aries so captivating as a flirt is that they don't just try to win your attention, they try to ignite something in you. They want you to feel as alive, energized, and daring as they do. Every word, every glance, every playful challenge is designed to pull you out of your comfort zone and into their world of sparks and excitement. And if you give in, you'll find that with Aries, flirting isn't just about attraction. It's about stepping into a fire that burns with pure, undeniable passion. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a thanks button right under this video, or through the donation alerts link in the description. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. Taurus. Slow, steady, and oh so sensual. A Taurus flirts by leaning into comfort, lingering touches, a warm smile, and an unhurried pace. They want you to feel safe and desired at the same time. Their charm is subtle but irresistible. When a Taurus flirts, the entire mood of the room seems to shift into something softer, warmer, and far more inviting. They don't rush in with bold declarations or playful challenges. Instead, they draw you in slowly, like music that starts at a whisper and gradually builds into something unforgettable. Taurus flirts in a way that feels natural, grounded, and deeply sensual. They're not about flashy words or fast-paced charm. They're about presence, comfort, and subtle energy that makes you feel not only attractive but cherished. The secret to Taurus's flirting lies in their ability to create an atmosphere. They use their calm demeanor to disarm you, to make you feel like you can breathe around them. Their smile isn't forced or overdone, it lingers just long enough to make you wonder if it was meant only for you. When they laugh, it's rich and genuine, and when their eyes meet yours, there's a steadiness that feels like they see straight through the noise of the world and into you. They don't need to do much, because their energy itself is magnetic. Touch is where Taurus shines. They may brush your arm while speaking, lean a little closer than necessary, or find excuses for casual contact that feels both innocent and intentional. These gestures are never rushed, they're slow, deliberate, and full of unspoken meaning. By the time you notice, you've already been drawn deeper into their orbit, not because they pushed, but because they made you want to stay there. Ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and pleasure, Taurus flirts in ways that appeal to the senses. They might bring up food, music, or art, weaving romance into ordinary conversations. Instead of saying, "You look nice," they'll tell you how the color of your shirt brings out your eyes, or how your laugh sounds like a melody they can't get out of their head. Their words carry weight, not because they're extravagant, but because they're thoughtful and specific. Taurus flirts with patience, which is what makes them unforgettable. They're not trying to rush you into something. They're trying to build trust, comfort, and desire that grows steadily over time. It's like sitting by a fireplace. You don't realize how warm you've become until you're lost in the glow. Their charm is never loud or desperate, but it's strong enough to leave a lasting impression. With Taurus, flirting isn't about temporary sparks. It's about creating a slow-burning flame that feels both safe and irresistible. You may not even realize how much they've drawn you in until suddenly, you're captivated by the simple way they smile, the way their presence grounds you, and the way they make the world feel calmer just by standing near you. That's the irresistible beauty of Taurus. They don't chase you down. They make you want to come closer, again and again. Gemini, the master of witty banter. A Gemini flirts by keeping you laughing, tossing playful comments, and making every conversation feel like an adventure. You'll never be bored with them, and that unpredictability is exactly what keeps you hooked. When a Gemini flirts, it feels like stepping into a whirlwind of words, ideas, and quicksilver humor that you didn't even realize you were craving until they opened their mouth. They are the undisputed masters of conversation, and their flirting style is built around this talent. Gemini knows how to keep you laughing, how to toss in just the right playful comment at the right moment, and how to make even a simple exchange about the weather feel like a lively debate worth remembering. Their charm doesn't come from being rehearsed or polished, it comes from being alive in the moment. With Gemini, every conversation feels improvised, spontaneous, and utterly unpredictable. One moment they're asking you about your favorite childhood cartoon, and before you can blink, they're challenging you to defend your taste in pizza toppings as if it's the most important argument of your life. And the best part? You're having so much fun, you don't even realize they've turned a boring detail into a flirtatious game. Gemini flirts through curiosity. They're genuinely interested in people, so they'll ask questions, dive into your stories, and respond with energy that makes you feel like the most fascinating person in the world. But it's not just about what you say, it's about how they twist and play with it. You might tell a Gemini about your favorite book, and they'll fire back with 3 outrageous theories about what would have happened if the ending were different. You'll laugh, roll your eyes, and suddenly realize that you've been drawn into their playful rhythm without resistance. Their unpredictability is what keeps you hooked. One minute they're teasing you mercilessly, the next they're giving you a compliment so sincere that you can't help but blush. Gemini knows how to balance sarcasm with sweetness, laughter with sincerity. They're never heavy-handed, but they're never boring either. With them, flirting feels like a roller coaster. You never know which twist is coming next, but you're too entertained to care. Gemini's ruling planet, Mercury, gives them quick minds and quicker tongues. They can think on their feet, turn almost anything into a joke, and leave you grinning long after the conversation has ended. It's not unusual to walk away from talking with a Gemini only to replay their words in your head hours later, laughing again at their cleverness. And that's exactly how they hook you, not with grand gestures, but with memories of the way they made you feel in ordinary moments. But beneath the banter and playfulness, there's also a subtle vulnerability to Gemini flirting. They want connection, and they use words as their bridge. They don't just make you laugh for the sake of it. They want to see how your mind works, how you react, what makes you tick. In that sense, their flirting is also exploration, an adventure into your personality that's disguised as lighthearted fun. And once they know your rhythm, they'll mirror it back to you, making you feel not only entertained but deeply understood. With Gemini, you'll never sit in silence wondering what to say next, because they'll fill the air with humor, questions, and stories. They'll take you on conversational detours that lead nowhere in particular but somehow feel like the best journey you've had in ages. And through all of it, they'll keep you laughing, smiling, and leaning in, unable to resist the magnetic pull of their witty, unpredictable charm. Cancer, sweet, shy, but deeply caring. When a Cancer flirts, it feels like they're wrapping you in emotional warmth. They'll listen closely, remember the smallest details about you, and make you feel seen in ways no one else does. When a Cancer flirts, it doesn't hit you like a sudden spark. It envelops you like a gentle tide, slowly pulling you in until you realize you've been caught in something soft, safe, and irresistible. Their style is the opposite of loud or bold. It's subtle, shy, and deeply personal. Instead of grand gestures or clever banter, Cancer's flirting is about attention, emotional warmth, and small details that prove they're truly listening. At first, you may not even notice they're flirting. A Cancer might come across as reserved, holding back their feelings until they know it's safe to reveal them. But once they decide to open up, you'll feel it immediately. They'll lean in when you speak, their eyes warm and focused as though every word you say matters more than anything else in the room. They'll ask you gentle questions, not probing or invasive, but thoughtful ones that show they're paying attention to who you are beneath the surface. Cancer's gift is memory. They'll remember that offhand comment you made about your favorite coffee, and next time, they'll bring it up or even surprise you with it. They'll recall the little things, your favorite song, the way you take your tea, the story you told about your childhood pet. And when they mention it later, it feels like a hug in words, proof that you're not just heard, but cherished. This is their way of flirting, by showing you, again and again, that you matter to them in ways others might overlook. Their energy is nurturing. They flirt by offering comfort, making you feel safe in their presence. They might ask if you're warm enough, notice when you're tired, or check if you've eaten. While some might mistake this for simple kindness, there's something unmistakably romantic in the way Cancer does it. It's as though they're wrapping you in an invisible blanket, creating a space where you can let your guard down. And that sense of being cared for is what draws people in. It's irresistible to feel so emotionally seen. But don't let their shy sweetness fool you. Cancer's flirting has depth, and it can be incredibly powerful. Their emotions run deep, and when they direct that energy toward you, it feels like being chosen in the most tender, genuine way. There's intensity hidden in their quietness. When their gaze lingers a little longer than usual, or when their laugh is softer with you than with others, you can feel the undercurrent of desire. It's not loud, but it's undeniable. Because Cancer is ruled by the moon, their emotions ebb and flow like tides, and this rhythm influences their flirting style. Some days, they might be playful and open, showering you with warmth and laughter. Other days, they might retreat slightly, testing whether you'll notice and draw them back out. This push and pull isn't manipulation. It's simply their way of protecting their sensitive heart while still reaching for connection. The beauty of Cancer flirting is that it makes you feel not just desired, but valued. They don't see you as a conquest or a passing fancy. They see you as someone worth knowing, someone worth nurturing, someone worth remembering. And that makes their attention unforgettable. When Cancer flirts, it's never just about attraction. It's about weaving you into their emotional world, little by little, until you realize you don't want to leave the comfort they've created. With Cancer, flirting is less about sparks and more about warmth. It's the quiet smile across the table, the way they remember your stories, the gentle concern in their voice when they ask how your day was. It's subtle, but it stays with you long after the moment has passed. And once you've felt that emotional embrace, you'll find yourself longing to feel it again. Leo. For Leos, flirting is a performance, and you're the lucky audience. They love to shine, show off a little, and make you feel like you're part of their spotlight. They flirt with confidence, charm, and just enough drama to keep things exciting. When a Leo flirts, it's impossible not to notice because they don't just flirt, they perform. Everything about their approach is dramatic in the best way possible, infused with energy, confidence, and the unmistakable sense that they are inviting you to step into their world of glamour and sparkle. Leos are ruled by the sun, and like the sun, they radiate warmth, light, and brilliance wherever they go. When they set their eyes on you, it feels like you've suddenly been cast as the co-star in a story where they are both the lead actor and the director. Their flirting begins with presence. Leos know how to command a room without even trying, and once they've chosen you as their focus, it feels as if the spotlight tilts and follows you too. They'll make sure you know you're noticed, whether it's through grand gestures, playful compliments, or simply showering you with their attention in front of others. To Leo, flirting isn't just about charm, it's about making you feel special, admired, and chosen in a way that no one else can. Leos love to shine, and that extends to their flirting. They'll tell stories that captivate the room, but they'll make sure you're watching them the whole time. They might crack a joke, exaggerate a detail, or even poke a little fun at themselves, all for the sake of hearing your laugh. But it's not about showing off for the crowd, it's about pulling you in, letting you see the playful performer beneath the confident surface. When you laugh at their jokes, when your eyes stay on them, they light up even brighter. That's when Leo feels the magic. But here's the thing, for all their love of attention, Leo doesn't just want to be admired, they want to admire you too. Their flirting is full of compliments, and not just shallow ones. They'll notice your style, your presence, even the way you carry yourself, and they'll make you feel like you're royalty. They'll say it boldly, without hesitation, because Leo doesn't believe in hiding admiration. They'll let you know you're stunning, amazing, captivating, and they'll mean every word. There's also a playful drama to the way Leo flirts. They might sigh dramatically when you tease them, throw their head back in exaggerated laughter, or act mock-offended if you don't immediately give them attention. This theatrical flair isn't meant to manipulate, it's meant to entertain, to create sparks, to keep the interaction fun and lively. With Leo, flirting never feels flat. It feels like a stage production with passion, humor, and just enough unpredictability to keep you on your toes. Leos flirt with confidence because they know their worth, but they also want to lift you up into their spotlight. Their warmth makes you feel as though you're basking in sunlight. You feel brighter, more alive, more glamorous simply by being with them. And the truth is, that's exactly what Leo wants, to make you feel like a star, because when you shine with them, their fire only grows stronger. When a Leo likes you, they won't hide it behind subtle hints or quiet gestures. They'll step forward boldly, shower you with attention, and make sure you know you're desired. And yet, even in their grandeur, there's sincerity. Underneath the performance, Leos flirt because they truly want connection, adoration, and affection. They want to be admired, yes, but they also want to share their light, to feel like their partner can reflect that same fire back at them. Flirting with a Leo feels like being invited onto a stage where every moment is larger than life, where every compliment is sincere but delivered with flair, and where every interaction leaves you buzzing with energy. You'll laugh, you'll blush, and you'll find yourself addicted to their charisma. With Leo, you are never just a background character, you are the main event, standing in their spotlight, warmed by their radiant, passionate energy. Virgo's flirting style is intelligent and thoughtful. They'll notice your quirks, ask smart questions, and offer little acts of kindness. It might not scream romance at first, but their attention to detail speaks louder than words. When a Virgo flirts, it doesn't hit you with fireworks or overwhelm you with showmanship. It arrives quietly, like a soft melody you didn't know you needed to hear. Their style is intelligent, thoughtful, and deeply attentive, built not on flashy gestures but on small, meaningful details that make you feel genuinely seen. If Leo is the stage performer, Virgo is the quiet observer in the corner who somehow knows exactly what to say to make your heart skip a beat. Virgos flirt by noticing. They see things others overlook, the way you fidget when you're nervous, the way your voice changes when you talk about something you love, the exact words you choose when you're passionate. And instead of letting those details slip away, Virgo remembers them. They'll bring it up later in conversation, gently reminding you that they pay attention. That moment when they repeat back something you told them days ago, or when they notice a small change in your mood, feels like an arrow straight to the heart. Their intelligence plays a big role in their flirting. Virgo asks questions, smart, thoughtful, sometimes disarmingly deep. They want to know what drives you, what excites you, what challenges you. And when you answer, they listen with a focus that feels rare in a world full of distractions. They don't interrupt, they don't steer the conversation back to themselves. They let you speak, and in their silence, you feel valued. That's how Virgo flirts, by making you feel like your words matter, like you matter. Acts of kindness are another signature of Virgo's flirting. They're not the type to shower you with grand gifts or over-the-top gestures. Instead, they'll do small things that prove they care. They might bring you a glass of water without you asking, share an umbrella when it rains, or send you a message checking in after a long day. These little acts might not scream romance in the traditional sense, but they're Virgo's way of saying, I'm paying attention, I care about you, and I want to make your life easier. And in many ways, that's far more romantic than words. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which gives them sharp minds and a talent for communication. But unlike Gemini, who uses words to entertain, Virgo uses words to connect with precision and purpose. They choose what they say carefully, often lacing their compliments with subtlety. Instead of saying, you look beautiful, they might say, that color really suits you, it makes your eyes stand out even more. It's understated, but it feels deeply personal, almost intimate, because you know they really looked at you. Virgo flirting is slow, deliberate, and intentional. They don't rush in or overwhelm. They prefer to build trust first, to show you piece by piece that they're reliable, thoughtful, and genuinely interested. This might not feel like obvious romance in the beginning, but it's a foundation that grows into something far stronger than surface-level attraction. They want to earn your comfort and trust, because to them, intimacy means more than just sparks. It means safety, reliability, and care. What makes Virgo's flirting so powerful is its authenticity. There's no performance, no pretense, just real attention, real thought, and real care. It's the kind of flirting that makes you feel not only desired but understood. With Virgo, you don't get swept away in a dramatic wave. You get gently carried, supported, and cared for until you realize you're already wrapped in their quiet charm. Flirting with Virgo may not dazzle you at first glance, but it will linger. Their thoughtfulness, their kindness, their ability to remember and care about the tiniest details of who you are, it stays with you. And once you experience it, you realize how rare and irresistible that kind of attention truly is. With Virgo, romance doesn't shout, it whispers. And in that whisper lies the kind of intimacy that feels timeless. Libra, the smooth talker of the zodiac. Libras flirt like they were born to do it. Soft smiles, charming compliments, and effortless body language. They make you feel like you're the most special person in the room, even if the room is full. When a Libra flirts, it feels less like an interaction and more like an art form. They have this uncanny ability to make even the most casual moment shimmer with charm, as if the universe itself conspired to choreograph every smile, every glance, every word that leaves their lips. Libras are ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, and it shows in the way they naturally weave grace, romance, and warmth into their presence. They don't need to force it, and they certainly don't need to rehearse. It flows from them as effortlessly as light reflects off glass. The first thing you'll notice about a Libra flirting is their smile. It's not just polite, it's magnetic, soft enough to feel inviting, but radiant enough to make you pause and wonder if it was meant just for you. And the truth is, with Libra, it usually is. They have a way of tuning out the noise of the room and focusing their attention squarely on you, giving you the sensation that, in a sea of faces, you're the only one they see. Then comes the conversation, where Libras shine brighter than anyone. They are the smooth talkers of the zodiac not because they rely on practiced lines or insincere flattery, but because they genuinely love connecting with others. They'll ask questions that feel thoughtful, give compliments that land perfectly, and respond in ways that make you feel validated, admired, and intriguing all at once. Libras are masters at finding the balance between making you laugh, making you think, and making you feel seen. And while they make it look easy, what they're really doing is tuning in deeply to who you are. Body language is another secret weapon in Libra's flirting style. They know how to lean in just enough to close the distance, how to tilt their head when they're listening, how to let their eyes linger on you in a way that feels both respectful and electric. They don't need dramatic gestures to capture attention. The subtlety of their movements is what makes it so powerful. When Libra flirts, you might catch them brushing their hand lightly against yours or mirroring your posture without even realizing it. These little cues create a quiet intimacy, as though there's an invisible thread tying you together. Libras flirt as though everyone is worthy of beauty and kindness, but when they focus on you, it feels different. It feels personal, elevated, special. They'll make you feel like you're the star of their world, even if you're standing in a crowded room. And the most enchanting part? They're not faking it. When Libra is captivated, they dive into the moment fully. Their compliments, their interest, their smiles, they're all real, delivered with the sincerity that makes you feel honored, even cherished. Of course, Libras also have a playful side. They'll tease you gently, balancing their sweetness with a light edge of humor. They'll drop a witty remark, then soften it with a grin that lets you know it's all in good fun. This combination of playfulness and charm keeps you guessing, keeps you leaning in, keeps you hooked on the idea of what they might say or do next. At their core, Libras flirt because they believe in connection. They want to bridge gaps, spark attraction, and create harmony between themselves and others. They're not pushy, not aggressive, but they're impossible to resist because their energy feels like a song you want to keep listening to. With Libra, flirting feels like stepping into a ballroom where every step is effortless, every word is smooth, and every moment leaves you glowing. Scorpio, intense, magnetic, and impossible to ignore. Scorpio flirts with mystery, eye contact that lingers a little too long, subtle touches, and an energy that makes you wonder what's going on behind those eyes. They don't flirt lightly, it's all or nothing. When a Scorpio flirts, the air changes. It thickens, deepens, grows heavy with something you can't quite name but can absolutely feel. Scorpio doesn't flirt the way others do. They don't waste their energy on surface-level charm or playful chatter. Instead, they wield intensity like a weapon, drawing you in with magnetic force until you find yourself wondering how you got caught in their web. If Libra is a gentle song, Scorpio is the drumbeat you feel in your chest long after the music has stopped. The hallmark of Scorpio flirting is their eyes. They lock onto you with a gaze that's steady, unblinking, and far too powerful to dismiss. It lingers longer than you expect, sending shivers down your spine and making you wonder what secrets they're holding. That gaze is not casual, it's deliberate, focused, almost predatory, as if they're reading you, peeling back your layers, and deciding how deep they want to go. And once you've felt it, you can't forget it. But Scorpio doesn't rely only on eye contact. Their entire energy is wrapped in mystery, in the sense that there's always something more going on beneath the surface. Their words may be few, but they're chosen with precision. When they compliment you, it feels heavy, intimate, almost dangerous, as though they're revealing more than they intended. When they tease you, there's an edge to it, a subtle implication that they're testing you, watching how you'll respond. Every interaction with Scorpio feels loaded, charged with meaning you can't fully untangle. Physicality is another cornerstone of their flirting. Scorpio doesn't make grand, obvious moves. They prefer subtle touches, almost accidental, that linger just a fraction too long. A brush of the hand, a guiding touch on your back, a hand that steadies yours for no apparent reason. These touches are never careless. They're calculated to create heat without overwhelming. You're left questioning whether it was intentional, but deep down, you know it was. Scorpios don't flirt lightly because they don't do anything lightly. For them, attraction is all or nothing. If they're interested in you, you'll feel it in the way their presence becomes heavier around you, in the way they watch you from across the room, in the way their words carry double meanings. Their intensity can be overwhelming, but it's also intoxicating. You find yourself craving more of their attention, even if you're not sure you can handle it. Ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and power, Scorpio approaches flirting as if it's a test. They want to know how much you can handle, whether you can meet their depth, whether you're strong enough to swim in their waters. It's never casual, never frivolous. Their flirting is a prelude to intimacy, to passion, to something far more profound than surface attraction. They're not playing games, they're gauging connection, searching for someone who can match their intensity. When Scorpio flirts, you don't just feel wanted, you feel consumed. It's in the way they speak, in the way they move, in the way they simply exist near you. They pull you in without asking, and once you're there, you realize it's not a place you want to leave. The mystery of what lies beneath their eyes, the weight of their words, the fire hidden in their calm, it all creates an irresistible allure. With Scorpio, flirting isn't playful banter or lighthearted fun. It's an invitation into something deeper, something raw, something real. It's all or nothing, and if you're lucky enough to experience it, you'll understand why their magnetic presence is impossible to forget. Sagittarius, fun, adventurous, and playful. A Sagittarius flirts with humor and spontaneous energy. They'll invite you on a wild adventure, tell outrageous stories, and keep you on your toes. With them, flirting feels like a game you never want to end. When a Sagittarius flirts, you don't just get attention, you get an invitation to step into a whirlwind of energy, laughter, and unpredictability that feels like an adventure in itself. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, optimism, and exploration, and this energy is woven into every word they say and every move they make when they're interested in someone. They don't flirt quietly, they flirt loudly, boldly, and joyfully, and they do it in a way that feels as if they've just opened a door to a world you never knew existed. Their flirting begins with humor. Sagittarius has the kind of wit that can turn any situation into a punchline, and when they're flirting, you'll find yourself laughing more than you thought possible. They'll tease you in playful ways, poke fun at themselves to make you comfortable, and exaggerate stories for comedic effect. Their goal isn't just to make you smile, it's to make you laugh so hard that you feel the same thrill of life they feel. To them, laughter is intimacy, and sharing it is their favorite way of building connection. But Sagittarius isn't only about jokes. Their storytelling is legendary. When they flirt, they'll spin tales of their travels, their misadventures, their outrageous experiences, painting pictures so vivid that you feel like you were there with them. And if you weren't, they'll immediately suggest you should be there next time. You've never gone hiking under a full moon? We have to change that, they'll say. Or, you've never tried dancing at a salsa club? That's unacceptable, let's go Friday. This spontaneity is their signature. With Sagittarius, flirting doesn't stop at words, it becomes an adventure they want to share with you. Their body language mirrors their energy, wide gestures, open postures, and an eagerness that's impossible to fake. They might grab your hand mid-story just to emphasize a point, lean into you as if you're the only person in the room, or step closer in moments of excitement, completely unaware of how magnetic they're being. There's a natural warmth in their touch, a freedom in the way they move, that makes you feel both comfortable and thrilled. What sets Sagittarius apart is their spontaneity. They'll change plans mid-sentence, come up with wild ideas, and sweep you into things you never saw coming. You might think you're just having a drink together, and suddenly they're convincing you to go on a midnight drive to look at the stars or to try a food you've never eaten before. This unpredictability is part of their flirting. It keeps you on your toes, makes your heart race, and leaves you eager for what's next. Sagittarius flirts as though the world is too exciting to take slowly. They want you to feel alive with them, to break routines, to taste life in its fullest color. They're not afraid to be bold about their attraction, and they'll say things other signs might only think. But their boldness isn't threatening, it's liberating. It feels like being handed a ticket to a journey where fun is guaranteed and the destination doesn't matter. With Sagittarius, flirting feels like a game you never want to end, because it's not just about romance, it's about joy, connection, and the thrill of possibility. They don't make you sit back and wonder if they're interested. They show it, loudly and clearly, with laughter, stories, energy, and invitations to leap into something wild. And the moment you take their hand, you realize you're already caught in their adventure. Capricorn, at first, you might not even notice a Capricorn is flirting. They're subtle and cautious, but when they let their guard down, you'll feel their serious intention. They flirt with stability, making you feel secure, valued, and respected. When a Capricorn flirts, it doesn't hit you like lightning. It arrives slowly, carefully, almost imperceptibly, like the steady growth of roots beneath the surface. At first, you might not even realize they're flirting at all. Their approach is subtle, measured, and cautious, because Capricorns value their emotions too much to waste them on fleeting interactions. But when you look closer, when you notice the details, you'll see that their flirting is layered with depth, sincerity, and intention that goes far beyond surface charm. Capricorn's style comes from their ruling planet, Saturn, which governs discipline, responsibility, and long-term goals. They don't treat attraction lightly, and that seriousness comes through in the way they connect. While other signs may flirt to play, Capricorn flirts to build. Their gestures may be quiet at first, a lingering glance, a small smile, a subtle shift of their body closer to yours, but every move is intentional. They're not the type to waste energy on someone they're not genuinely interested in. Their flirting often begins with conversation. Capricorn wants to understand who you are, and they'll ask questions that go deeper than small talk. Instead of, "What do you do for fun?" you might hear them ask, "What's something you've always wanted to achieve?" or, "What inspires you?" Their curiosity isn't idle. It's grounded in wanting to know your substance, your values, your ambitions. They listen carefully, not just to your words but to your tone, your pauses, your excitement. And when they respond, it's with insight that shows they've been paying attention. Capricorns also flirt with acts of reliability. They'll remember what you've said and follow through. If you mentioned that you hate walking home alone at night, they'll offer to walk you without making a big deal of it. If you casually complain about your favorite snack being sold out, don't be surprised if they bring it to you the next time you meet. These actions may not scream romance at first, but they communicate something far deeper. "I heard you. I care. I'm here." Their body language mirrors their cautious style. A Capricorn might not dive in with bold touches or exaggerated gestures, but you'll feel their interest in the quiet ways they position themselves near you, the way they lean slightly in when you speak, the way their eyes soften when they catch yours. When they finally break through that reserved exterior with a touch, a hand on your arm, a steadying palm at your back, you'll know it's not casual. It's deliberate, thoughtful, and carries weight. Capricorn's flirting carries a seriousness that others might mistake for shyness, but it's really about respect. They don't want to play with emotions, they want to build trust. And when they finally let their guard down, when they decide to step out of caution and into vulnerability, the depth of their intention is undeniable. You'll feel secure, valued, and respected in a way that makes their attention incredibly powerful. They flirt with stability, not drama. They flirt with patience, not pressure. And they flirt with a vision, not just for a night, but for something real, something lasting. With Capricorn, attraction doesn't feel like a spark that might burn out. It feels like a steady flame, carefully tended, quietly growing stronger, and meant to last. At first, you might not notice their flirting, but once you do, once you recognize the quiet weight behind their words and the thoughtfulness behind their actions, you'll realize you're experiencing a kind of romance that doesn't fade with time. With Capricorn, flirting isn't about games or temporary thrills, it's about building something solid, something you can trust, something you can lean on. And in that stability lies a seduction stronger than any spark. Aquarius, quirky, unpredictable, and endlessly fascinating. Aquarius flirts by surprising you with unusual conversations, deep ideas, and unique perspectives. They're not about cheesy pickup lines, their mind is their most powerful flirting tool. When an Aquarius flirts, it doesn't feel like flirting in the traditional sense. It feels like stepping into a labyrinth of curiosity where every turn opens a new door to their fascinating, unpredictable world. They're ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation and surprise, and that influence makes their style of attraction unlike anyone else's. Where other signs might rely on practiced charm or physical closeness, Aquarius captivates by pulling you into the orbit of their ideas, their eccentricities, and their unique way of seeing life. It usually starts with conversation. An Aquarius won't lean on the tired, "So, what do you do?" Instead, they'll ask something like, "Do you ever think about what time would feel like if it moved in circles instead of straight lines?" Or, "If you could redesign society from scratch, what would be your first rule?" At first, you might laugh, not realizing this is their way of flirting. But as the conversation deepens, you realize that the intensity of their curiosity isn't just intellectual, it's personal. They want to see how your mind works, how you respond, whether you can keep up with their unexpected leaps of thought. This is the secret to Aquarius flirting. It's not about physical proximity, at least not right away. It's about mental electricity. They want to spark your imagination, challenge your perspective, and connect with the part of you that rarely gets asked unusual questions. Every moment with them feels fresh, unplanned, and slightly off-center, like they've stepped outside the script of normal interaction and invited you to join them in a more authentic, spontaneous exchange. And yet, their unpredictability is precisely what makes them so magnetic. One minute they're talking about the future of artificial intelligence, and the next they're joking about why pigeons act like secret government agents. This blend of serious and silly keeps you leaning in, eager to know what will come out of their mouth next. You never get bored with Aquarius because they never serve the same flavor twice. They're constantly remixing their energy, keeping you guessing, keeping you intrigued. But it's not just the words. Aquarius flirts through subtle physical cues as well, though they often downplay it. They'll lock eyes just a little longer than expected, give you a sly grin when you say something clever, or shift their body toward you without realizing they're doing it. Their touches, when they happen, are light and experimental, like brushing your hand to see if you'll notice, or nudging your shoulder in a playful moment. These gestures are small, but they carry electricity because you know they weren't random, they were choices. What makes Aquarius so different is their refusal to be predictable. They don't court in straight lines. They'll surprise you with a sudden invitation to a late-night drive just to see where the road goes, or they'll share an obscure fact that somehow connects perfectly to the moment. They flirt by refusing to be ordinary, and that refusal is exactly what makes them irresistible. At their core, Aquarius flirts with the mind before they flirt with the body. They want to know if you can meet them in their world of imagination, if you can laugh at their quirks, if you can dive into conversations that wander everywhere and nowhere at once. Their flirting isn't scripted. It's alive, electric, and constantly unfolding like an adventure. With them, you never feel like you're stuck in routine. Instead, you feel like you're standing on the edge of something new, something only the two of you could create together. With Aquarius, attraction isn't about playing roles. It's about connecting in ways that feel authentic, surprising, and alive. They flirt not to impress, but to awaken, and once you've felt that spark, you'll never forget it. Pisces, dreamy and romantic, Pisces flirts with soft gazes, gentle touches, and a poetic way of making you feel like you're in a movie scene. They'll make you believe in fairy tales again, because when they flirt, it feels like pure magic. When a Pisces flirts, the world seems to soften. The sharp edges of reality blur, the noise fades, and suddenly you feel like you've stepped into a dream where everything is lit in warm, glowing light. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of imagination, fantasy, and illusion, and their flirting style reflects this ethereal quality. They don't just show interest, they create an atmosphere around you, one that feels like it belongs in a story rather than everyday life. The first thing you notice is their eyes. Pisces has a way of looking at you that feels almost otherworldly, soft, searching, as if they're peering not just at your face but into the deepest corners of your soul. Their gaze isn't heavy or intense, like Scorpio's, it's tender, almost shy, but filled with an unspoken longing that makes you feel both cherished and vulnerable. That look alone can be enough to make your heart skip, because it carries the weight of emotion without a single word spoken. Their words, when they come, are gentle, poetic, often layered with a kind of romantic imagery that feels natural to them. They might say something simple like, "You have a light about you," or "I feel like I've known you forever," but the way they say it, sincere, soft, almost whispered, makes it linger in your mind like a lyric from a song. Pisces flirts not by trying to impress with cleverness but by opening a window into their emotional world, and once you step inside, it's hard to want to leave. Pisces also flirts with touch, but in the most delicate, almost hesitant way. A brush of fingers, a lingering hand on your arm, a light touch on your shoulder as they laugh. It's never aggressive, never rushed, always infused with gentleness. Their touch feels like a promise of safety, an unspoken message that says, "You matter to me, and I want you to feel it." Even the smallest gestures feel drenched in tenderness, and that's what makes them unforgettable. What sets Pisces apart is the sense of magic they bring to every interaction. They might tell you stories from their dreams as though they're real, or weave metaphors into casual conversation, or suddenly notice something poetic about the moment you're sharing. With them, a simple evening walk can feel cinematic, like you've stepped into a scene where everything carries meaning and beauty. They heighten reality, turning the ordinary into something enchanted. Their unpredictability isn't about wild adventure like Sagittarius, it's about emotional depth. One moment they're laughing with you over something silly, and the next they're sharing a secret they've never told anyone before. They flirt by weaving intimacy out of thin air, drawing you into a space where vulnerability feels safe, where romance feels natural, and where connection feels destined. Pisces wants you to believe in fairy tales again, and the truth is, when they flirt, you do. You forget the harshness of the world outside because they make you feel like you're part of something softer, sweeter, and timeless. Their attention feels like a lullaby, their affection like a dream you don't want to wake from. With Pisces, flirting isn't about games, it's about magic. They draw you in with softness, wrap you in warmth, and leave you believing, even if just for a moment, that love really can be as beautiful as the stories we tell. And once you've felt that magic, you'll always carry a piece of it with you. So, which zodiac sign's flirting style sounds most like you? And more importantly, which one completely disarms you when you least expect it? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more astrology deep dives, and check out the links in the description for even more cosmic insights. Until next time, may the stars keep guiding your heart.